Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to another episode of the Impakt Podcast. My name is Jeff Welsh and I'm your host. And today, it's been a couple of weeks since we've actually had a podcast, but today we have special guests here today. Two awesome people on our social team. We have Allie Keaton and Kaiser. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good over here.
That's awesome. Well, if you guys aren't aware, Kaiser's actually in California while we're in West Virginia, so it's a lot earlier in his day. It's just after breakfast time, I guess, at this point. We're at lunchtime, but it's exciting to have you both. As you guys can see, just like the last episode, we're in our different space again. I feel like we're just still kind of hacking things together here as far as like the setup goes, with our mic set up, and this time we're trying to do a live stream and just all of this different stuff. Hopefully 2025 is going to be a lot smoother than it has been. But anyhow, let's dive into the topic of the day. I think I decided to bring in both Allie and Kaiser this week because we're pretty much right in the midst of Black Friday season. And I don't know if it's too late to start campaigns, but we're getting pretty close to like the tail end of that type of stuff. But I thought it'd be a good time for us to talk with both our social media specialists in regards of, you know, what can we do at this point in time within the Black Friday season to continue to promote our e-commerce stores, and, you know, how can we work multiple channels to increase business and things of that nature. So I'm going to just kind of hand it off to the team here and see if we can kind of get some good conversation going on what we can do to help our clients out. So, Allie, tag, you're it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I will start with Facebook side, and then I will pass it over to Kaiser. We're just going to first go over the importance of having multi-channel campaigns. So Facebook is one of the largest social media platforms in the world, as we all know. It's helpful because with Facebook, we're able to reach new customers with correlating targeting and different things like that, as well as retarget previous customers that we've had in the past for our clients. And there's different targeting options, and these include demographics, which are like age, gender, interests, hobbies, activities, pages users follow. And there's also custom audiences, which is where you upload a list of email subscribers or create a lookalike audience based off of existing customers, and geographic targeting. So that's showing the ads only to users in specific locations. That's just kind of a quick, brief overview of the Facebook side. We'll obviously dive more into the benefits of Black Friday, and passing it off to Kaiser for Google.
Google on the similar side as Facebook is we have the ability to touch hundreds of millions of people through the various ad networks that Google employs. So it's very similar to Facebook, where we can go after geo-targeting locations, specific audience groups. We can really break it down to even going after people of a certain level of income. There really isn't too much that Google won't allow us to kind of target and kind of customize our targeting specifically to a client, whether they have a really narrow window of people they're looking to target, or they just want to kind of broadly advertise their brand and then their products to individuals. There's really nowhere that they can hide from Google, essentially. So it gives us the ability to kind of customize and kind of create ads that are effective in terms of kind of generating sales, but also help kind of keep or build a company's brand awareness.
So you said something that was a little bit scary there, talking about being able to hide from Google. That's a perspective that I never really even thought of. Once you're kind of out there in the universe, there's nowhere to go that you can kind of hide. So it's got to be careful what you put out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why people, if they search on Google, they automatically scroll past the sponsored ads, whether that be on the search or the shopping section, and go right into organic listings. But even then, any interaction you've had on the interweb, it's trackable.
Yeah, it kind of makes me laugh because it makes me think about when social media ads started becoming a big thing. I remember years ago, people would be like, I saw these shoes and they just followed me around everywhere online. And people are like, oh, Facebook's listening to what I'm doing. And it's funny because now it's haha, that's what we do to people in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's what people come and pay us to help keep their brand right in front of the exact audience that they're targeting. I mean, I've been around in the advertising industry for a really long time, over 3 decades at this point. But I mean, it's a whole different world now. I mean, back in my early days of working in creative, I mean, we were talking about traditional media, TV, radio, billboards. For me specifically, I worked very heavily in print and catalog design for many years. But I just remember the budgets that went out. Gosh, now that I haven't thought about this in a really long time, but like when I think about these catalogs that I would put together for various industries all over the Baltimore area, and how much it cost to print a 64-page catalog and then to mail them out, and in the hopes that you could attract some business from that. I mean, it's crazy. The budgets we're talking about back then are far exceeds what we charge our clients to actually pay us to do. It just kind of blows me away, and the effectiveness of the traditional media side of things is just not what we can achieve on the social side, especially when we're talking about multiple channels hitting an audience. Can you guys speak to that a little bit? Like, how can we work together with multiple channels, so like where our Google campaigns and our Facebook campaigns are working well together with one another to increase brand awareness as well as sales? Who wants to chime in?
It's hard because I never know. I didn't know if Kaiser wanted to go first, but I can start with it, and then Kaiser can expand on what I'm saying. But it's really helpful because it gets you to maximize your ROI by using multiple channels. So we increase the chances of connecting with the right customer. So repetition is really key with advertising, because a lot of times people aren't going to make a purchase the first time they see a product or an ad. They're going to need to see it a couple of times, and then eventually they're like, okay, I'll cave and buy it. Repetition is honestly key, like I just said. So yeah, I don't know what else Kaiser wants to add, but
you want to chime in on that, Kaiser?
Yeah, I kind of broke it down to kind of 4 simple points in terms of kind of like the multi-channel strategy. First, we've already touched on it too, is it increases the overall engagement that a user has with a brand. When you're on Google advertising or Meta or Facebook, or Meta, Facebook, and then Instagram too as well, it really doesn't allow a user to kind of escape kind of ad targeting once they've already shown interest. And then kind of touch on that point Ali made, is that once they've already interacted, they already have some sort of interest that we see, whether that be either viewing certain product pages or even going as far as kind of adding things to their cart, or even the end goal is having them actually follow through with a checkout, and then it leads to a conversion there. So yeah, just overall, just trying to just track what they're doing, and kind of just make sure our copy and ads are relevant to what they're doing as well. So if specifically in the moto, if they're looking at kind of moto jerseys and pants, we don't really want to show them like bike parts, right? It just doesn't make sense for what they're kind of engaging with. So we want to just kind of make sure that not only are we engaging with them through the various platforms, but we're showing them relevant content too as well. And then the next kind of point is kind of promote the brand consistency. So this is when you have a team, it's important to make sure that the brand is consistent across all the platforms. So like Facebook and Instagram are not advertising a certain ad copy and then Google saying something different. So that's where having kind of the meetings we have, or the brainstorming meetings we do have, make sure that we're all aligned and we're all kind of showing a similar face to the company we're advertising for. The next one is kind of streamline the purchase journey. So like it's kind of touching on kind of showing relevant content. So if a user has already added certain products to their cart and for a reason is not checking out, it doesn't really make sense for us to show them brand new products that they haven't seen or haven't engaged with prior, right? We want to kind of target them based on the things that are actually in their cart, and kind of target our ad copy and kind of promotions on, hey, where'd you go? What happened? Or hey, these items are still there for your purchase, and kind of just make sure that we just stay relevant to what their interactions are. And then the last point here is kind of just it allows, by utilizing the multi-channel, it allows a user to kind of the freedom to interact with whatever platform they want to, right? So if they are heavily scrolling through Instagram and we have them targeted, if they're more comfortable of going from Instagram to a company's website and then converting that way, having the multi-channels there available allows them to kind of interact with platforms they're more comfortable with, or platforms they're frequently using as well. Because again, the idea is to always be omnipresent, no matter where you are. And so if we can kind of target that based on their interactions and what platforms they're using, that makes them feel like, one, we're not trying to just keep targeting, keep the frequency up where they see 10, 12 ads a day. They see more relevant things that are kind of based on their interactions with a brand.
Very well said.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have a you have a lot of really good points there. Mm-hmm. I think one of the things we were talking a little bit, I think you might have mentioned the word omnipresence, but that's generally what I'm always thinking about. But I think one of the things that was going through my head was the fact that, sometimes we have some challenges with, attribution being on multiple channels and things of that nature. But clients get really kind of stuck up with that concept sometimes, like, oh, well, it came from Google or it came from Facebook or whatever. But the reality of it is we have to remind them often is that if you're not spending in both of those areas, the chances of the probability of people seeing you is going to be far less. So, and it also takes time too, right? So once you ramp these campaigns up and get them rolling, it's really kind of hard to just stop or slow down. Like, can you guys speak to, and Allie, I'll let you chime in first. Like, so we're in the midst of Black Friday, right? And things are going to roll until Black Friday hits, and then it's probably going to go for a couple more weeks, and then all of a sudden the universe is going to stop buying, right, for a while. What would you guys generally recommend for customers who are concerned about that, like spending their advertising budget in January through February until it starts to ramp up for spring season?
So a lot of our clients, what I feel like is one of the things that sets Impakt apart from other agencies is we are very cognizant about ad spend. We're not going to just throw a client's money at the wall. So we're very careful running optimizations and watching when we should be spending more, pulling back. And we recommend, hitting the ground running with Black Friday and Cyber Monday spending. And then we will pull back sometimes when it's January and February and more of their slower months. And consumers are kind of burnt out on spending at that point. So that's when we will pull back spend, either go the route of building brand awareness, continuing to get their brand name out there is always important, or, maybe they'll run a micro sale. It just kind of depends on the client and what they're comfortable with.
Client, Kaiser. I'm calling Kaiser, my team member, a client. Kaiser, can you chime in on that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll kind of touch on the tracking too as well. And I see it's not just how Impakt interacts with our clients too as well, is that the tracking across both Google and Meta is something a lot of agencies are kind of experiencing some kind of falsities in, and the idea that both of these platforms are incentivized to boost their ROAS. So Google and Facebook are both going to say, hey, you spend $1 with us, we're going to make you $5-6. And then they're incentivized to kind of keep that metric up, so that what they're going to do is try and grab as many of those attributed sales as they possibly can. So right at the end of the day, these are both businesses too as well. They need to make money, and we get that. But the idea is that now they're muddying the water with kind of their data-driven tracking and making it kind of harder to attribute, hey, this sale specifically came to Google, or this sale is specifically attributed to Facebook or Meta. And that's where kind of the use of like third-party tracking software that we are implementing and kind of beta testing as well, and try to get a more clear picture of what sales are coming from which platform. And that kind of helps us with scaling too as well. And like Ali mentioned, is that if we don't have kind of a clear window of what sales are coming from each platform, it kind of makes it into a kind of a guessing game, which we don't want to do, especially now if a client has a limited budget. They want to get the most bang for their buck, especially now in the holiday season, starting with Black Friday and Cyber Monday. That they want to capitalize on every ad dollar they have out in the space. So yeah, just kind of making sure that we kind of stay on track and then kind of make sure that we're spending their money in it wisely. Like I said, we just don't want to throw it out there and kind of just hope it sticks. We want to have kind of data and analytics behind us to kind of back up what we're saying. And then in terms of like Black Friday is we kind of run into the problem of kind of ad spend and how much a user should spend. So we always just kind of want to be kind of tentative at the start, and then once we see performance start rolling in, then we can kind of start scaling it up. But for a brand to not even be in the space at all or think that it's not effective, I think is just kind of a loss of opportunity. Because if they're not spending on, let's just say, their brand name, there's definitely a competitor out there that's willing to spend the ad money and kind of take over that either that industry or those products. So it's really kind of just keeping your name out there as an opportunity to convert, right? So like I said, if clients have a smaller budget and they really need to squeeze that money out, we can kind of hone in our targeting and kind of make our targeting more specific and kind of just capitalize on what they're able to do. So yeah, if you're not spending, someone else is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's worth pointing out is that and without mentioning their names, we have clients that have season specific products that work well, specifically in the fall through cold weather season. And then, we do really well, especially during the holidays and throughout those entire seasons. But when it comes to then all of a sudden the weather's warm, their specific product doesn't sell as well during that period. And this specific client was really hesitant towards, like, they just wanted to put the brakes on everything last year. But Allie and Kaiser, you guys did a great job, kind of coaching them through what is the best options for them to do. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if I because I don't run the campaigns, guys, these are my pros. They're the experts, not me. I just talk about this stuff. We essentially just kind of kept brand awareness at its minimum to keep the client happy throughout the slow season, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We lowered the spend significantly, and then once their time of year started to come back, that's when we would continuously ramp up the spend gradually, but keep an eye on it, making sure that they were getting a high return. And then, yeah, we just kept it going.
And how did that work out for that specific client this year in regards to, like, we just kept it running, kept the engine warm, so to speak. And then I believe around the end of the summertime, close to fall, we started to ramp things back up. And
Yep, it was the very end of summer. That's when we met with her, made sure she was comfortable with us doing that, and we asked if there was a cap for spend, and she said no, so that's music to our ears, and we rolled with it.
Cool. Awesome. Well,
yeah, it's really kind of, yeah, a lot of these companies are seasonally based. So when it's their peak season, we ramp it up, and then we also have everything to back it up too as well. So we have what's the ad platform is saying, and then we also have access to a lot of our clients are on Shopify, and we can also kind of use two data sets and see, like, hey, like, we really need to capitalize on this season so we can make money now, so we can kind of float you through your off season, and then we kind of go right back into in season and then keep that spend kind of pumping there. So we just want to make sure that, one, we have the data to back it up, and then kind of let her know that, one, yes, she has to be okay with the ad spend that's coming in. And of course, the first bill she got, she was like, holy crap, this is a lot. But then she also looks at her sales and realized that she really didn't even have time to meet with us for too long on our monthly meeting, because she has sales to go churn out and kind of keep her business going. So that's always a positive to see.
Yeah, I think we are a data driven business, right? Like, I mean, obviously there's the technical and the creative aspect of things, but at the end of the day, we have to look at analytics data and things of that nature to make educated decisions. And I think without accurate data, that it makes our job really difficult. And I think that, and we're constantly coming up with new things that we need to tweak and adjust on. But like you had mentioned in reference earlier in regards to double attribution, like, we kind of pinpointed something that was not as accurate as we would like it to be. And dove on that immediately. So rather than just kind of waiting for it to snowball and just become a big fire. And so I think it's super important to make sure to point out that the team is always doing their utmost best for the client and trying to solve challenges like that to get accurate information so we can make really good educated decisions, because the better we are at that, then the better our campaigns are going to perform, and the better sales the clients are going to have, and the more money we all make, right?
Definitely.
Amen
Cool.
to that.
So, all right. So we've talked about Google and Facebook working together. Let's kind of go over email. Who wants to chime in on that first? Kaiser?
Yeah, you can if you
I
want.
guess I should have
Either
said,
way.
Kaiser, why don't you chime in on this first? Because
Either way, yes.
Yeah, on the email side, there's a couple different ways that we can kind of keep the multi-channel strategy running. One is through kind of either weekly or monthly email campaigns that go out to dedicated subscriber lists. And then the second option is the email automations. When it comes to kind of the email blast campaigns, whether that be weekly, monthly, daily, however a client wants to keep their frequency, is we really just want to promote not only kind of what their best selling is if it's a seasonal product, but just kind of make sure that we keep that constant engagement. And then through the email platform itself, we can kind of track that with data as well. So we can kind of take a look at open rates, click-through rates, and make sure that we're at an adequate level, right? Because if we just let's just say, for instance, if we start doing daily emails and we start seeing not only the open rate, but the click-through rate start to decline, we've kind of hit a point where we need to throttle back on the frequency of these emails and then kind of push it back to start moving into like maybe a weekly campaign and kind of A/B test kind of what our metrics are showing us. And then with the automation side, it kind of goes back to kind of serving more relevant content. So if a user does abandon their cart, we can have an automation that goes out and sends them an email and say, hey, these are the 3 to 4 items you have. Are you still looking to buy? Or if those items have been in a cart for over 30 days or whatever the window is, then we can potentially promote them with like, hey, we noticed you've been kind of window shopping on these. Here's a discount code that we can offer you. And that usually kind of incentivizes people to immediately go right back in. If the cart's still there, just immediately go for a checkout. It just kind of incentivizes them and keeps them more interested in the brand as well. I know giving discounts all the time is kind of troublesome for certain clients and certain companies, but whatever discount you are giving, you're going to make that back if they see like a 10% off, now that they have the potential to add a couple more products into their cart and take advantage of the sale there. So you're at the end of the day, you're still going to make money on the back end of it.
I mean, I think one thing that popped in my head that is an interesting thought. I don't know if you guys have ever come across this, but if I owned an e-commerce business and I was constantly promoting stuff, of course nobody wants to give discounts. You want to make as much money as possible. But have you guys ever come across any of our clients that has a product that is always purposely there with a discount? Because I think that's a good thing to have. Like there's always should be something price pointed at a point of where they're getting, they're promoting that. Because if somebody goes into the store, I'm going to get 10% off of this one thing that's a popular item, chances are pretty good they're going to add something else to the cart too. Would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, whether that be not only discount.
Sorry, I think we were both waiting for each other. I was trying to be
who's going to
polite.
respond?
Also, yes, we are with you, Jeff.
Yeah, so there is a client that does want to promote a particular product that he's trying to push heavily, and again that kind of goes to kind of where he relies on our expertise, because if we just start metrics, like I said, like open rate and click-through rate just start to decline as we keep pushing that product, then we might have to come back to the client and say, hey, like we might need to take a pause on this particular product or certain campaign that we're running and kind of switch gears and kind of promote something else, and we can always come back to it. We just want to make sure that we're not exhausting this client with over and over and over. They get the same email every Monday, Wednesday, Friday of the same thing coming through. But yeah, any incentive, and it's not only discounts too. Some clients do free shipping, which kind of helps. One, it's a cost that they're going to eat anyways. But if they have the idea that consumers can add a couple more things to their cart, that the free shipping cost to them is overridden by the more products they're adding.
Good point.
Yes,
Do you have anything to add to that, Allie?
I just wanted to say another benefit to email is it's regular communication. So you're constantly hitting your potential customers' emails on a weekly basis or monthly, depending which route you take. But that is building a lifelong loyalty with them, and then you're always at the top of mind for them.
That's a good point. Really good point. Cool. So I think that we've done a pretty good job touching those three, unless you guys have anything to add in regards to touching those three channels. I mean, there's always obviously other things that other channels and social media platforms and things that people can work on, but these are the three general areas that we tend to work on a daily basis: Google, Facebook, email marketing. Those are the ones that we specialize the most in and work really well in conjunction with one another to get the awesome results that we do. Do you guys, in kind of to the tail end of this, do you guys have any like recommendations? So we're looking at November 7th. So we're less than 3 weeks away from Black Friday. What would you guys recommend to people who may have already started their promotions or haven't done anything yet? What can they do in the remaining less than 3 weeks to try to increase conversions for this season?
So while we do always recommend a lot of our clients start November 1st because it's such a competitive time, we do have clients who still have yet to launch theirs. They gave us a specific date and it wasn't until middle of this month, or one we're trying to get launched ASAP because we literally just onboarded them like Friday? Last week. Yeah, Friday. So yeah, but we make things happen quickly around here. But my recommendation, if it's a client or a business who hasn't started any Black Friday ads yet, is to start ASAP. Like, start now. Make sure that your ads are visually eye-catching, because people are constantly scrolling, seeing so many ads. What is going to make yours stand out? What is actually going to draw people and make them click on it, make them engage with it? You need to make sure that your ad is enticing and that your offer, from the get-go, I've always over the years recommended clients make sure that their sale is in big, bold letters. That's what our graphic design department always does too. But we like to make sure the discount you're offering is big. It cannot be missed so that it's like, bam, in their face. And then, of course, they have no option but to dive into it. I'm just kidding. But the bigger, if you have it in big, bold letters, that's going to draw them in even more, because it's not like, I wonder if they're running a sale, or I wonder what their sale is. No, give them up front what the details are, what you're offering.
Kaiser, I have an idea, but I'm going to let you respond next. That's something I want to share, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah, definitely. On the paid side, I would just, if you have any ad budget, I would immediately get it out there. And kind of like Ali was touching on, get your promotion, your deal, discount, free shipping, whatever it happens to be for Black Friday. Just get it out as soon as possible. And then just kind of make sure that, one, you have the tracking there, and then kind of just watch the data roll in. And then if you don't have the marketing budget, if you want to do things organically, have just a big hero or image slider on their website. Kind of just have that promotion rolling, whether you do want to do the hero image or have a sticky header that always follows them on every page and lets them know that, hey, this discount is running. Or just take advantage of posting organically on social media too as well. Like I said, people sometimes will just scroll right past ads and kind of look for kind of just organic kind of posts, specifically on Instagram. Just have your product, your discount, your whatever you want to do for Black Friday, just out there. Just have the most awareness you possibly can. So it's not always you have to go with the paid route. Organically, there's things that you can do and take advantage of too as well. And just kind of keep your name and then kind of keep your promotion out there.
I like the fact that you brought that up, because we don't do organic promotions. We did back in our early days do that type of stuff for local clients and things of that nature, but it's something that we haven't focused on for years, because ultimately we really well with scaling through paid ads. That's our specialty. But in the coming years and stuff, I'm probably, me personally, will start to speak more towards the organic stuff, because I've come to learn in all my years of working in the industry and all the trainings, especially in the last year or so, that organic stuff is not something that people should sleep on at all. As a matter of fact, one really smart route that I've seen other people do is that they test stuff organically, right? Constantly putting posts out there on, every single day, and then figuring out what your audience is going to engage with the most and the best. And if you've got like a single organic post that's performing relatively well organically, you should use that in a targeted ad.
Yeah.
Is that what's your guys' input on that? Because I know that's something that we generally don't talk about, but I think it's something that's often overlooked that could be beneficial to clients.
No, I agree with you 100%. Organic is always good. That's the extra push to get it out there to the people who are following you, and then potentially to get new followers. But also, because I was still on another train of thought as well, back on what Kaiser
That's all right.
was saying.
We'll bounce around here too.
No, but I agree with you. I agree. But I wanted to mention this while I'm thinking about it. Because Kaiser and I were on the same wavelength. Literally, when he was talking about the website side of things, I was thinking about that as well, which is awesome. But you need to make sure that your discount, like he said, or offer like shipping, etc., is on the website in multiple places, and make sure it's very clear if it's like the discount will be applied at checkout or if they need a specific code. So keeping it consistent on your website as well as all of your platforms that you're marketing on, which includes email, so you always want it to be front and center on your emails, and even adding it to like your subject line so that incentivizes people to click on the emails and opening them. So we're coming full circle with omnipresence and why it's important for Black Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we're bouncing around all over the place here, before I lose the thought that I had, I know we've talked about this in previous episodes, but I'm going to bring it up again. But Alex Hormozi is obviously, I'm a huge fan, and I watch his stuff. We've talked about this in the past of some of the ads that he's done to catch people's attention. And the one I think that we used in the past was where there's this donkey or horse or something that falls out of a truck, and it catches the user's attention, and then Alex does the same motion. Mm-hmm. But the one that I'm seeing a lot here like in the past week or so is that there's this, this all happens in 3 seconds, guys. There's this guy, and he's from somewhere in Europe or Asia somewhere, and he's got this rope tied around him. Have you seen this one?
No.
Okay. He's got this rope tied around him, and he's talking about something in whatever his language is, and this car takes off behind him, and then eventually the rope like runs out, right? And it like yanks the guy, he falls down. That happens like in 1.5 seconds. And then immediately it switches to Hormozi, who is in the same scenario. He's promoting his school platform, and he's got a rope tied around him. And he says, "This is a Cybertruck. This is $100,000." And the Cybertruck takes off, and you're just like expecting Alex to get yanked.
Yeah.
But then the rope was cut. So nothing the point is that they've got your attention. The attention span of people online is super short now. There's the 3-second rule that we're always talking about in regards to, you've lost your audience if you don't have their attention in 3 seconds. Those techniques are so creative. Mm-hmm. I think it's really important for people to kind of take that into consideration. And it sounds crazy, but if it works, it works, right?
I think that's our next podcast topic.
What's that? The 3-second rule?
Just ways to draw people in within the first couple of seconds, different strategies.
Yeah, I should start collecting those because I think that's a great example. But anyhow, Kaiser, you got it. Have you seen anything crazy that catches people's attention in ads?
Yes. Some of it is not something that we can do.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would say, especially if now that we're we're not now in it, but we've been in the moto space, there are a lot of things that I've seen, and that there's a lot of different ways. And like we touched on, you have seconds to really, I think the stat is if you don't have something grabbing them in first 10 seconds of a video, they're going to scroll past it anyways. So you really have a limited amount of time that you can take advantage of someone's attention span. And yeah, you need to have, even if it's not a promotion, just have something kind of cool in your videos, your graphics, that help you stand out from everyone else. it's definitely a killer in terms of not even just ad space, but also kind of organic as well. But yeah, definitely we have limited time and we want to take advantage of that time.
Yeah, I know, like, even on TikTok or, in Instagram Reels, but, like, what a secret is a lot of people will post, like, say they're doing, like, a project or something. They'll show a clip of the completed project of, like, a second, and then it's, like, the process of it so that you see what you're going to get, but it's like, ooh, I want to do that, instead of just, like, this is what I'm doing, because, like, it catches your attention way faster. So kind of showing, like, the end result as a clip at the beginning.
I think that's a really good idea. I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah, there you go, Jeff.
Thanks. I could talk about this topic forever because
we should do this one next.
Yeah, let's save that for the next episode. We can kind of collect a bunch of things because we're kind of getting off topic here. I mean, I think we've done a really good job this week in regards to talking about omnipresence and, its importance. We've talked about this in the past, but specifically working with, within our specialties with Facebook, Google, email, things of that nature, all within the Black Friday realm of things. We're in the midst of it, and things don't really end at Black Friday, right? We've got Cyber Monday, and there's still an additional, in theory, 3+ weeks before people really slow down buying online, just because there's not enough time left to ship stuff.
Or even, I know we have a few clients who they'll run a Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale. Some will do a Black Friday and then make a higher Cyber Monday sale for those couple of days. And then you have the holiday Christmas December ad, so they might offer a smaller discount, but still some sort of incentive.
Cool. All right, guys.
Cool.
Well, I think I don't know what she said, but she's probably...
It's like cool.
Yeah, she's making fun of me, of course. I'm used to it.
I'm just teasing you.
All right, guys. Well, awesome. I think that, this is probably a good time to kind of move on. I think I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and we try to provide as much value as we possibly can in these episodes, because I know that, watching a 30 to 45 minute episode is asking an awful lot to people, but it's really good opportunity for us to kind of show ourselves, put ourselves out there. And, we learned an awful lot this episode. So I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy work days and jumping in here.
Of course.
Turned out well. I'm going to make an effort to clean this place up. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's like a light stand holding up this.
Jeff's been worried I would knock it over, but I did not.
Yeah, good job, Allie. It's a long story, but there's a lot of ghetto-related things in the studio we're going to fix for the next time. So that said, hey, guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time and energy to watch us. If you have any questions or want to learn more about the things that we do here at Impakt, by all means, you can always go to our website down here at the bottom on the screen, thinkimpact.com. Check it out. Take a look at some of the things that we do. If you're just you want to jump on a call and you have some questions in regards to how can we help you the remainder of this Black Friday season, or preparation for the new year. I mean, although we're done, for this year pretty soon, it's immediately in January we got to start thinking about the springtime. So we're always willing to hop on a call and just have a conversation to see where you're at and what some of your goals are. So go to thinkimpact.com and check it out, and we'd love to have a conversation. So that being said, thanks a lot for joining us for episode 15 of the Impakt Podcast, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.